Let this go well. No technical difficulties, please, Father.
You're
Two, three, four. Take it to the bridge. Take it home.
Emotional damage.
all right. Take it away, Charlie.
Walmart is racist.
Welcome to our show. We don't know what to call it yet. We got some ideas. And
I want to call it
Charlie's
the
gonna-
Tuesday Night Patriot Party. That's what I want to call it. But everybody calls everything either Patriot or Freedom or Liberty. So I think we need to branch out and do something different. Hello, my name is Charlie Simons. I host a show called Do Not Talk. It's called Do Not Talk because I do exactly talk about the things you're never supposed to talk about, politics and religion. This is Mike Cook, who has turned out to be truly an extraordinary friend and blessing from the Lord. Except for all the borrowing money all the time. Other than that, what a great friend.
I know that ain't true
And,
because we're both broke as a joke, but
Hey, we wound up deciding, as busy as Mike is, he goes live every day. You probably know this already. And thank you to everybody already in the chat room. That's exciting. I love to see it. And we're going to try and read as many of these as possible. As a matter of fact, the funnest thing to me is whenever I see a show that's actually getting viewership and traction and a lot of people in the chat room is when they start having conversations with each other.
they do that.
That's so
It's
funny.
crazy.
And
I
it
can't
goes
keep
so
up with
fast.
it.
I don't know how y'all read it. I don't know. I'm not that smart. But anyway,
There's a setting on Rumble where you can slow it down. You can slow
I
down.
didn't know that.
Yeah. Not
Okay, well,
on our end, on their end.
Oh, I got you. All right. Well, here's the deal. Mike does a show live every stinking day, Monday through Friday. And it's like 2.5, 3 hours long. And then he does an after show after that. So I've been wanting to do a show with him. We'll do it. We'll get it done about once a month. And it's always a very well received.
You want to go once
the
a
shows
month
I
or
do
once
with
a
you.
week?
Yeah, the shows I do with you are usually in the $30,000 to $40,000 or $40,000.
Your words from your mouth to God's ears.
God's ears, please, Lord. That'd be awesome.
I'd split $30,000 or $40,000 with you every show. That'd be
It's
all
about
right.
30 or 40,000 people watch the shows when Mike and I get together. So I'm thinking, man, it'd be great if we did something every week and went live. Because he's doing the live stuff. I do the pre-recorded stuff because I mostly interviews. I have guests on and I make sure it's well produced.
Interviews. I suck at interviews.
You do. But I still love you. No, that's not true. He's great at everything. And just ask him. He'll tell you. Oh, by the way, I got this hat just for you today, Sergeant.
If I was ever a sergeant, I never made it that far.
You were E4?
I was an E4, yeah.
Yep. Slacker. You got to take orders from me. So anyway,
not anymore.
Mike came to me and said, hey, you want to do something live once a week? shut up, Mike. I've been wanting to do that for a couple of years now, and now we're going to finally do it. We're going to try every Tuesday night to be there. That's 8:15 East Central Time, 6:15 Pacific, right?
It's 8 o'clock. I said it for 8:15 because you know how it is, getting technical difficulties. But that's the goal every Tuesday. If one of us can't make it, we'll probably do it, or maybe we'll bring every once in a while. Maybe we'll bring on a guest. I don't know. We don't know the format yet. We'll make it up as we go along. Which is, if you watch my show, that's standard operating procedure.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited about this, and I hope that you'll come along with us for the ride. There's so many choices out there. I know that. And one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of when they do team things like this or try and get a live audience built up is they spend far too long pontificating about how great they are and how you want to watch them and be entertained. So let's cut that part out right now. Okay, so we don't have to keep giving this explanation every single week. Just know we're going to try and always be here for you. And thank you very much for participating.
Mike says that's 9:15 real time, but only if you live out there on the coast, out there in where the weirdos live on the East Coast.
What part of the East Coast is he? Do you know?
He's from Virginia. No, from North Carolina, South Carolina, one of the Carolinas. Cowpens, North Carolina, I believe, is where Mike's from. He works in Virginia, though.
I finally got to see North Carolina for the first time in my life just about a month ago, month and a half. You know who Juan O'Savin is?
Yep. Okay. He's on my Patriot mythology list.
Mythology? What does that mean?
We had an idea where the show was going to go before we started. Patriot, it's Patriot mythology and Patriot mythology insurgents, and that is the ones that keep telling us over and over again since 2021 that Donald Trump was coming back. We're going to arrest Joe Biden, and they're going to storm the Capitol, and the military police going to come arrest everybody all in one group, and they're going to take them down to Gitmo. Oh, they're all taken down to Gitmo, and they're all hanging, and they're all a bunch of Edgar suits.
Yeah, they're already dead. There's a bunch of clones take their place. They're all wearing masks.
The truth is, my father-in-law, who served in Vietnam, like John Kerry, I served in Vietnam. He really did, because he went places and did things that he can't talk about to this day. But he said he coined that phrase after he got back from Vietnam, and he started getting into the Patriot movement in the 70s. He coined the Patriot mythology, where they were doing the same thing they're doing today, putting out the garbage, the psyops, and all this stuff. And he caught on real quick that it was a bunch of BS. And he called it Patriot mythology, and everybody jumps on the mythology. Everybody's like, oh, this one or that one or this one, or they got to go down the rabbit hole. You got to do all this stuff. So Juan O'Savin.
Yep. He was one of the keynote speakers at this event against child sex trafficking.
Well, I'm against that. And that, you know what? Just because they get some things right doesn't mean that they get it all right. It's just he was one of the ones there in the beginning telling us all this crap that never panned out. You know what I mean?
Part of the whole Q movement, right?
Yes. Well, you see, the thing is, Q said what Q said, but Q was a psyop. A good psyop, maybe, because there's good and there's bad. But there was a counter psyop to Q, and that was all these Patriot mythology pushers that went out there and started saying this, that, and the other thing, and they put their schematics up and they draw their lines and their circles and how everything's all connected like this, and up and down like this. I saw somebody the other day, and I don't know if it was on Facebook or Twitter or where I saw it, but he made this post, and Donald Trump had said something, and Donald Trump used a bunch of capitals in different places, and he was talking to Iran or somebody. He was complaining about somebody. Maybe I don't remember which tweet. I mean, it's or truth. It's not like Donald Trump does very few of them, Anyways, he circled not all, selected certain words and circled the capital letter to say, "Hail Satan." Donald Trump's a Satan worshiper. And I'm like,
really?
That's so dumb. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I mean, I could probably go through there and say, praise the Lord, too. But
right. Yeah, exactly. Well,
back in the 80s. Oh, I was supposed to let you have the floor, but here we are. Back in the 80s, it was the backwards masking. You remember that? You put the record on, you play it backwards,
oh
and
yeah,
it says, listen to Satan, listen to Satan, listen to Satan. There was a rock group named Petra, and they had a
Right.
song called Angel of Light. Angel of Light, though you glow in the night, I won't let your evil take control. It's rock and roll, hard song. Right at the beginning of that song, was it that song or Judas Kiss? I don't remember which one. It said oobity boobity boo, boobity boobity boo boo. And you play it backwards on the record, and it says, why are you looking for the devil when you should be looking for the Lord?
well, it's a real deal. I mean, and the subconscious mind is incredibly powerful. It is that masking is real. Please believe me on this. I've been in the music and radio business my entire adult life. I know it's real. And now you can't even play things backwards. CD,
Sure you
digital,
can.
whatever. You can. How?
Sure you can. There's ways to play backwards. There's software on the computer. You can load it up
There's
in there.
no
and play
way
backwards.
for them to. I mean, they don't even. I think put that kind of effort into it anymore because now they're just openly and blatantly saying.
You know what's
things.
even worse than that? There's many insiders that have come out that said they produce a record. They take they take a back in the day, and they still do it today. The master print, whatever the master print is today, it's digital now, I'm sure. They take the master print, they take it over, and they have witches and warlocks curse it so that it would get better sales.
Yeah.
And they still do that today. Now that's probably true, but still, why are you searching for the devil when you should be looking for the Lord? Because I ain't concerned what the devil's doing because I'm covered in the blood. So anyways.
There you go. I love that. However, we are easily influenced, and we are letting demonic forces into our lives, into our world, bringing it into our homes, into our families, by listening to this stuff and watching things that we watch and like going.
They're naming names. They're naming names in the chat room.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm not gonna name them. I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to get out there and point too many fingers because,
I will. Q is real. Don't forget Phil Good. Okay. See, I'm already lost. It's just too many. Oh, stop. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah. He's on the list, too.
Kelly here mentions, yes, you know who I'm looking at, don't you? Scott McKay, the Patriot Street Fighter. He was one of the very first. He was one of the very first ones when I first got started doing the podcasting thing during the COVID shutdown. I lost my job with the Salem Media Group after being with them for almost a decade. But that's when I decided I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to become part of alternative media, and I've never looked back, and thank God for it. I've never been more broke, but believe me, the work is much more rewarding. Much more rewarding. Anyway, it was Scott McKay who kind of mentored me, got me started, and was helping me out in the very beginning. But I'm watching a show with him just a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to ask Juan O'Savin about this, but he didn't have time. We didn't get to it. But he had a couple other guests on there. They were talking about all kinds of stuff. I'm like, what the what? One dude was showing satellite photos. Look, there's gallows that have been built at the White House. They're hanging these people, or these people who have been arrested. They're actually hanging them there at the White House. Here's the picture of the gallows, the satellite photo. Another one was talking about what's that universal income thing? And they were talking about how won't that be great when we'll all just have one universal income? And I'm like, great. What's great about it? How's that any different than one world government, new world order? It's the same
a
thing.
lot of the Nasara Jacera stuff is you'll own nothing and be happy.
Of course.
If you put it, and universal basic income,
isn't it?
Which Elon Musk is pushing, but Elon Musk is a socialist, admittedly. Okay, so I don't expect people. Although I agree with Elon Musk on Doge and some of the other stuff that he does, I disagree with Elon Musk on that. But that's the point. We can friendly disagree. But universal basic income is communism. If anybody wants, it's communism. Like on my show today, earlier, I was calling Tucker Carlson a Marxist communist, a Marxist fascist communist. Why? Because he was pissed off at Ben Shapiro, because Ben Shapiro says if you live in an area that's impoverished and you can't find a job, move. And he thought that was the most ridiculous, craziest thing you ever. If you live in an area where your family's from, why should you move? You shouldn't move. You shouldn't move. That's just ridiculous, crazy. How would you tell somebody to move like that? Well, because you're communist and you want everybody to stay where they are and not become anything better. Jim Rohn said, if you're on the bottom rung of the ladder of life, climb. That's what ladders are for. And I pointed out how when I drive north of Sedalia, Missouri, there's a brand new Nucor plant which make wrought iron there. I make not wrought iron, the stuff that goes into concrete, whatever that stuff's called.
Rebar.
Rebar. Yeah, I would have remembered that any other time, but here we are. And they got a sign out there: $75,000 to $125,000 a year. Do you know you can live like a king in Central Missouri at $75,000 to $125,000 a year? And they're hiring. So if you're living out there in California trying to buy the $750,000 a house working at 7-Eleven, come out here to Missouri. Get a job tomorrow. I'm just saying.
Tell me more.
It's a lot of hard work.
I'm sick of living paycheck to paycheck. I could drive trucks. I could drive big, heavy
Well,
equipment.
you want to drive trucks? Tyson's is hiring for $45,000 a year truck drivers to drive locally to deliver feed to the chicken mills, chicken plant. And 45, that's not, you're going, well, that's not a lot of money in California. It's not, but in Central Missouri, you get by. You get by.
Thanks for introducing me to that pastor friend of yours too, by the way. I wish I could think of his name right now, but he was extraordinary.
Lockington. Yes.
Say it again.
Awesome. Jeff Lockington.
Yes. And is it Sedalia?
Sedalia, yes.
That is now on my radar.
He's pastor of Liberty Life Church. Liberty Life Church. And the story he told you about how that he got voted into that church with the pastors that he was associated with, telling him no first, and Gary, the former pastor there that wanted to retire. That story. Remember the story he's telling you? I can confirm that story because I was on the other side of it, because I was talking to the pastors about him. We were having conversations. I said, "Are you guys really going to have him?" Well, we don't know, kind of thing. I was hearing from them exactly how the story went, what he was telling you. It sounds like it was amazingly crazy. It absolutely. I was there on the opposite side of it. Now, I wasn't involved in any of the decision making. I was just hearing about it. So,
well, the reason why I brought him up is because now Sedalia, Missouri is on my radar. I want to see that place. I've never even been. Well, no, I have been to Kansas City, but
it's not much. I mean, you come down to the Scott Joplin Festival.
Yeah,
because Scott Joplin, you know who's Scott Joplin is?
Joplin? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, he wrote the Maple Leaf Rag at the Maple Leaf Hotel.
That's Janis Joplin's grandfather, right? No, I'm kidding.
No. Down on Main Street in Sedalia, there's actually a park there now. It was a hotel for the railroad. Mm-hmm. Had a lot of ladies working there.
Yeah, another freaking brothel. I gotcha. And every time any kind of historical place in America that's from the 1800s, and this was the brothel, and I don't care. Why? Shut up. I don't care. Stop bringing that up. Why don't you tell me where somebody actually did something good on this day? But anyway, we're obsessed with that crap, we as humankind. But all of this is coming to a point. You mentioned that gentleman who's in the chat room right now is from North Carolina. I flew all the way out.
He said I drove past Sedalia, Missouri at 95 miles an hour. He must have been on I-70. And you can't go 95 on I-70 right now. I guarantee. They're doing road work on it. You can't go 55 on I-70 through Missouri.
So I fly from California all the way to North Carolina. Never been there. Always wanted to go. Come on, Spike. My boy wants to get fed. I haven't fed him yet. He's hungry. Come here, boy. Let everybody say hello to you, Spike. Here you go. Let me make sure your collar's turned around so my phone number doesn't show up there. There we go. That's Spike. That's my little guy, Spike. He's my little friend. I thank the Lord for my little friend all the time. Such a great blessing. Anyway, I flew all the way out to North Carolina to meet 107. And a friend of mine was the one putting on this event against child sex trafficking. Awake and Bold is the name of the organization, nonprofit. And the moment I landed in North Carolina, in not Raleigh, what's the other main town there? Doesn't matter. I just fell in love. It was amazing. And the people who were picking me up to take me to the event, because I was broadcasting live from there, said, well, we got a little bit of time. What would you like to do? And I said, take me to a Waffle House.
Oh,
please,
yeah. You never eaten at a Waffle House?
right now.
You've
I
never
love
eaten at a Waffle House?
I lived in Tennessee for almost a year, and I just fell in love with Waffle
Oh,
House.
okay. So
And
you
then the
had.
more I learned about the family that owns and operates it, and the fact that they told California, screw you, we don't care, we don't need you. And it's still family owned and operated. It's got the greatest business model in all of corporate history, as
Yeah,
far as I'm
it's
concerned.
breakfast and a show about 1 o'clock in the morning.
I love Waffle House. And all the people were like, what? Because they figured I was, Californian. So I'm a good old boy from Bakersfield. If they had a Waffle House here, come on, I'd be very happy. But I don't blame them for not going to California. So I meet 107, and I kept trying to get him on my show. And that was my first experience seeing something. Now, I've been in the business. I've seen celebrities mobbed. I've interviewed big names, and everybody's all around them, and they mob them. But not podcasters. I haven't seen that. I haven't experienced that until I was there with him. And as soon as people figured out it was him, because, he doesn't show his face ever.
Mhm.
And they figured out that he was there. That's who that was. All the energy in the room, the speakers who were on stage, the ones who were scheduled, suddenly people were leaving the room as word spread around 107 is here. And they all went to the back. And that's where they glommed onto him for the 2 days that event was going on. I'd never experienced anything like that. I couldn't get him away to even go on the air with me for a little bit. People are so enamored with him. And I think you're saying it's a psyop. And you could maybe explain that to me, because I don't get
or
it.
is it a grift, or what is it? Are some of these people, I believe sincerely, that they've been put in place? They came out as the mega Christian right-wing support me podcast, get real big, get millions of followers and all
He's
this
never had
stuff.
a
And then,
podcast. He doesn't even have social media.
I know he doesn't. And then, as I said, follow me here. Some of the people that we see in this realm right now, and all of a sudden they've all switched. And here's what you heard. The sum of them have all switched. The sum of them have all switched. There are others that have not, right? But
what have they switched to?
Anti-Trump, anti-war, anti-Jew, anti-Christian.
Not 107.
No, I understand.
Not Scott McKay.
Listen to what I'm saying to you. Okay. There are others who repeat what others say.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I see that a lot.
Yes. And there are some who are still in position to be influencers, but they're diabolically on our side. Does that make sense? Because
no, diabolically on our side. What does that mean?
Yes, because they're there to create. There's a term I'm trying to find here. It's in the military. Obfuscate the battlefield.
Obfuscate, yeah.
To cause fog on the battlefield, to cause confusion and chaos amongst the ranks. They sound like they're with us, but they just put enough out. They put truth, lie, truth, lie. And one of my rules of thumb, I always tell my kids when I have to tell them something, rule of thumb, remember the rule of thumb, is if they have an unnamed source from somewhere deep in the government giving them deep classified information, they're lying. They're lying. Because if there's somebody in the government giving deep classified information to somebody, they're going to jail eventually. That doesn't happen. There now, where's Juan O'Savin play in this? All I know about him is he said a lot of stuff was going to happen that never did.
Yet.
That's okay. That you can stand on that. Now, but Mike, you do the same thing. Correct. I say that I got inspiration from God through the Holy Spirit that certain things are going to happen. When God does it, that's my out. Hasn't happened yet. When's it going to happen? I don't have any idea. I'm just telling you what he said. But these were date setters. Juan O'Savin was a date setter. In the next couple of weeks, and the goalposts keep moving. So I've taken all of those people and stopped watching them. I don't want anything to do with them. And I'm not, maybe he is, maybe he ain't, I don't know. But there are others I'm absolutely confident in because they're grifters extraordinaire. And they make a lot of money. They get a lot. And by the way, if I on my show decided to start talking about all the Edgar suits and all the hangings down at Gitmo and that Hillary Clinton's really dead and it's a clone robot from China walking around, if I started saying all this stuff too, I'd have 1 million followers.
It did walk exactly like Biden. It did. I love that.
So is that the robot or is that Biden? I mean, who you're downgrading here? I don't know.
I love that you call them Edgar suits. I hope everybody gets that. That's hilarious to me.
Well,
it's like he was wearing an Edgar suit.
Yeah,
I love that.
It is. It's insane.
Yeah.
And so, of course, everybody that watches my show knows that I have principles that I stand on. So everything's got to fit within these principles.
And they're frankly sick of you standing on them. Get off them. They need to breathe a little bit. Those poor principles.
The first one is God is in control, or God is sovereign, which is probably more accurate. I need to change it. The second one is the laws of physics apply. Whatever it is, what goes up must come down. All the flat earthers will say, well, there's no such thing as gravity. Okay, there isn't. But for some reason, it always goes down. Every time it goes down. It doesn't go up and stay. It comes down. So whatever that is, it is.
Okay.
The third is the simplest answer that works is usually correct.
And your first inclination is usually correct.
Yep. That is
I got a bad feeling about that guy. Oh, well, he's really nice and he does good things and he helps out orphans. His name is Al Capone. He's a good guy.
Well, Al Capone was a good guy as long as you weren't ripping him off or something.
You know why there's so many orphans in Chicago that had to be taken care of? Al Capone made them orphans.
True.
Anyway, the point being, what I'm going to say,
I got two more principles. You'll love these ones. The
ones you're standing on.
If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Right? And figures don't lie, but liars figure.
Oh, I like that.
I got that from an auctioneer friend of mine named Rusty. Figures don't lie, but liars figure.
So
go ahead. I'm done now. I'm sorry. I'm off my soapbox.
There's been some things that have happened that have discouraged me. And I'm thinking, how am I going to, on my show, I don't try and sugarcoat and I don't try and make you feel better. And I just tell you, this is exactly how it is. And this is my thought on it. Here's what happened, or here's what I experienced. Here's my thought on it. It's about the best I can do. I don't have any staff. It's just me and my dog Spike. But I turn to people like Juan for encouragement. Have you ever listened to that guy, David, on X22 Report?
Yep. I don't listen to him anymore.
And I don't watch any podcasters, really. I'm not. I love talk radio. I'll listen to talk radio. I'm a big Jesse Kelly fan. If he's not in your area, look him up. As far as I'm concerned, he is today's Rush Limbaugh. I'm not kidding. Former Marine, total stud, and funny as heck, Jesse Kelly. But at least once a week, when things are really bad and there's so much going on and it seems like everything's going wrong in Iran and everybody's bashing my president and everybody's saying this is it, this is World War III and we're going to lose the midterms, I get to a point to where I'm like, I got to give myself about an hour and a half to just sit down and listen to an X22 report. and he encourages me. And now I don't even know where to find Q. When he first started, I only heard maybe a couple of shows, and that's just because people sent it to me. I'm a radio and TV guy. If it's not on the air, I don't care. I don't even know where to find him now because he got deplatformed and all that happened, as has happened to me.
Well, who's that? X22 or Q?
No, Q.
Well, Q isn't a thing. It's just a post. It's just posts. And to decipher, the problem is that Q puts a post out, and then you have X22 and you have 107 and you have Phil Godowski and you have all the others interpreting what that means.
And those are the Anons, right?
Those are the Anons.
See, I didn't even understand that at first.
So
I was still calling them QAnon.
The Anons means anonymous. The Anons are interpreting. The problem is that there is a count. Okay. Q was a psyop. I believe it was a good guy psyop.
Let's come back to that. I'm going to put a pin in that right now because I would like just once and for all somebody to explain to me what a psyop is.
Okay, I'll explain to you what a psyop. It's a psychological operation. By everybody, whoever's doing it. Okay, let me give you an example. An unintentional psychological operation. Okay. During the Revolutionary War, our guys would get out there with their Kentucky long rifles and target the officers. This had a devastating
no better way to put a unit into disarray than taking out the leadership.
Right. Had a devastating psychological
that's why you don't salute an officer in the field.
On the British soldiers, on the British military, because that was up until that time, that's not the way you fought it. And I don't think that they said, okay, we're going to do a psychological. I think it was just a bunch of rednecks from Kentucky and Tennessee and whereabouts going, let's take out the guy with the big shiny thing on, right? that's kind of think of how it works. But it was a psychological operation in that it messed with the psyche of the military and created an advantage for the states. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So a psychological operation is an operation designed to cause an advantage one way or the other. If you read Sun Tzu, or if you read The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump, which is Sun Tzu created into business.
Yeah.
It's basically word for word a copy of it. It talks about winning the war before you fire a shot using psychological operations. So, for example, when we went into the first Gulf War, right? They took Marine expeditionary forces and parked them right off their beaches. Okay? And so Iraq moved all their forces down close to where they are, because that's where, if we're going to hit the beaches, you're going to use the Marines, right? And then 7th Corps, which was 101st, 82nd, the 24th Infantry, which I was attached to, and then there was another heavy mech unit. There was some other, anyways, we went around the backside of them and took them on by the back, and then the Marines came in, and they didn't come in from the ocean. They came in from Saudi Arabia into Kuwait. That was a psychological operation. We put something into the mind of the leadership that we were going to do one thing when we did another. That was a psychological operation.
Okay.
Propaganda. Somebody says propaganda is a good example. Propaganda is a psychological operation. So what Q was a psychological operation. I think they had a couple goals. I don't know for sure. This is just from the outside looking in, using the mind that God has blessed me with. I think they were trying to do two things. One, scare the crap out of the bad guys and cause them to do certain reactions to what was being said. And two, get a bunch of people to wake up and start looking at things around them. That was the two purposes, I think. So what the bad guys do, they created a counter psychological operation by infiltrating these anons into there and putting a bunch of garbage out, coming to a bunch of false conclusions, putting a bunch of stuff out to make people lose. That stuff isn't real. Because what they would do is they'd say, everybody come down to the mall because RFK Jr. or not JFK Jr. is going to come back to life, and Michael Jackson is going to come back to life, and there was another one too. I don't remember who it was, and they're all going to be down. You remember that?
And Elvis.
That was a counter psychological operation to make all of this Q stuff look stupid. That's what the intention. Yes, and so they're there, so you look crazy. Another example of a counter psychological operation: the Patriot Front. Have you seen those guys? They're the guys marching around in the khaki pants. And remember back in 2020 and 2021, they marched around all DC. They all had the flags on and the drums, and they had the khaki pants and the knee pads, and they're marching around like they're a bunch of patriots, a bunch of right wingers, and all this stuff. And everybody's like, Fed. I don't know if you ever seen that. I know a lot of my audience has seen that. Yeah, yes. That was a counter psychological operation to counter MAGA. It was to make MAGA look bad. They were to come out, do stuff, and make MAGA look bad. That was the point. So those are psychological operations. That's what they do. And I think that a lot of the big names in the so-called MAGA blogosphere, or the MAGA podcasters, or the MAGA alternative influencers are a psychological operation.
Point of order.
Mm-hmm.
When Mike Cook says mega, he's really meaning to say MAGA, but he's got some kind of Missourian speech impediment, and he can't seem to say MAGA. He's talking about make America great again.
Did you know California is a cereal state? Fruits, nuts, and flakes. I've worked very hard.
And a lot of artificial sweetener.
Yes, I've worked a lot of artificial. Mm-hmm. I've worked very hard on losing my California accent and adopting my new adopted home state, as Rush Limbaugh said, Missouri.
He was from
Cape Girardeau.
Cape Girardeau. Yep. That's right.
Yep. Worked for the Kansas City Royals for many years.
I miss Rush Limbaugh even still. I
wonder what he would say about all this mess.
Okay, as a matter of fact, thank you very much. Rush Limbaugh was then what I look to now with people like Juan and that guy David from X22. They encourage me. When I'm getting to a point to where, holy crap, we're losing all of this and we're so close, they say, no, here's what's really going on. Be heartened. The Patriots are in control. That's how David ends every single show. And whether
you see, and let me point something
out. Whether it's true or not, I like it. It helps me.
I get it.
It makes me feel better.
I get it. But the Patriots are not in control.
God is.
But let me point something out to you. All these people run around saying the Patriots are in control. The Patriots are in control. Well, the Patriots in control during the Biden administration when the auto pinning and all the stuff that was happening and our economy was crashing and everything was falling apart. Where were the Patriots in control then?
Right. You're right.
That's a big
behind the scenes work and taking bad guys down to Gitmo and hanging them and everybody used to use the phone.
None of that happened. It may happen, but it hasn't happened. I don't even think it may happen. And now there's a bunch of them out there, and there's a bunch of my people that follow me, and I appreciate you, every single one of you. And we disagree on some of this, and some of the disagreement gets pretty wild sometimes, and that's okay. Because there's a couple of them out there saying some stuff that I absolutely disagree with, like military tribunals. They're going to arrest everybody up, put them in a military tribunal. It's going to go through the military, blah blah blah. And here's my rebuttal to that. If we arrest civilians and put them through a military tribunal and execute them, we no longer have a constitution. We have military law. Military rule. That's what happens in a third-rate, third-world country, and the military takes over. We are a nation of laws, not men. We have to do it constitutionally. Well, how are we supposed to do it? Rosenbergs. We arrested the Rosenberg for selling secrets to the Russian, and we executed them. They went through civilian trials. It can be done. However, I'm always apt. You don't listen to nobody, and you never listen. I was told this the other day. You're just stuck on your opinions. You never change your mind. You don't listen to any other evidence. I listen to evidence. If it's real, I don't listen to another podcaster who has deep dark secrets somewhere that says the military is the only way. I don't listen to that. Well, now listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's conversation about Barack Obama and what Barack Obama has done over the last 11 years. Seditious conspiracy, and he is the head conspirator. Listen to what I'm saying to you.
I believe that.
He, as a civilian, cannot be arrested by the military and tried. Well, he was president, and when he was president, he has immunity. It's ruled by the Supreme Court. Okay? However, if it turns out that he really wasn't an American citizen and that he infiltrated, now he's a foreign national committing treason. It actually can't even admit can't even be treason. It's an attack by a foreign national in the United States of America. He's a combatant. So if that's the case, then Barack Hussein Obama can be arrested by the military as a foreign combatant and tried. And by the way, under the Geneva Convention, when you capture an ununiformed foreign combatant, you can be summarily executed. So if that's the case, and I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it is,
to agree with you, but with a different take. Every time somebody puts all their eggs in the military basket, oh, the military's in control. They're the white hats. They're doing behind the scenes work. During Biden's presidency, Trump was really the president because of the state and the DC and District of Columbia and so on and so forth. It's not a corporation. It's not actually under. I've heard all of this and I've seen the evidence of it and all that. But here's the bottom line. If the military truly is in control, were you not aware of what Obama was doing for 8 years to our U.S. military when he effectively, by firing generals, starting with a true American hero, General Flynn, Michael Flynn, look what he did, how he shamed him, tried to ruin him, tried to destroy him, break him down. He was doing that to all kinds of generals and even corporals and not corporals, but colonels, anyone commanding at the top who had any kind of I love my country kind of ideals and thoughts. They're out. They've been destroyed. They've been dismantled. They've had their retirement taken away. And then you get Biden during the whole Obama or the COVID shutdown. Great people losing everything, including their pensions, because they wouldn't take that shot. They got removed. So this military that you all seem to be putting all your faith into has been all but dismantled and destroyed by a total of 12 years out of Obama and Biden effectively, surgically going in there and taking out all the true, real patriots in our military. I wish I could tell you what I want to tell you so badly. But what I've seen at bases, let me throw this out. I won't even say where or anything, but I'm still involved. And it was Christmas time. And down a hallway, this new adjutant general that we had when our commanding general retired had put up all these different kinds of holiday wishes to all the service members going down this hallway. One of them was Wiccan. I was stunned right there next to Christmas, which didn't feature Jesus at all, by the way. It was all about Santa and all that crap. They can't even say Merry Christmas. Everything has to be Happy Holidays. The military has been ruined from within. Now, President Trump and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, God bless him, and I don't let anybody go unchallenged who starts tearing him down. I think he's doing an extraordinary job. They are building it back, but that's a long-term process. And we only got a couple of years left. And if we don't show up for the midterm elections and the primaries in California, and we don't embolden him and strengthen him and support him by giving him a true majority in the Congress and the Senate, we're screwed. Do you understand that? They will immediately go after him. They will not only this time impeach him, but he will be removed from office in the Senate. And you'll have Republicans voting for that who hate him, because he is the true, as far as I'm concerned, Republican Party that I love, respect, admire, and I'm glad to be a part of, despite all of its problems right now. I will always be that until they take away pro-life and pro-traditional marriage stance on the platform. If they ever remove that, that's it. I'm out.
Well,
but my point is, we've got to show up for the primary and midterm elections this year. And you mentioned Sean Hannity earlier. Every single election, this is the most important election of our lifetime. This truly is the most important election of our lifetime, and it's not even a main presidential election. It's a midterm. This is the most important election of our lifetime. We can't sit this one out. But they're building the military back, and they're getting it's its own world. You can't, even as a commander in chief, come in and start demanding you take away this and that and fire that general. But yet Obama did that, didn't he? He got a lot of generals fired, taken out.
Actually, as president, the generals serve at the behest of the president. The president can fire and hire whomever he chooses. So I made this post on Facebook the other day, and I know you didn't see it.
Facebook took me off every one of their pages. They've deplatformed me.
It's caused all the Pharisees to get mad at me. It says, for those that are upset with all the crazy going on around Trump, God says, you ain't seen crazy yet.
You ain't seen crazy yet.
Now, fun. So you turn to these guys, X22, 107, whoever, for encouragement.
Yeah.
You know who I turned to?
They encourage me.
I turned to Mike Staggs in the comment section, who's a prophetic person. I turned to other prophetic people. I listened to things from Kim Clement or Amanda Grace or Hank Kuhneman or Robin Bullock. And what's going through my mind, this will blow your mind. And I was looking for the video while you were talking just a minute ago, and I can't find it. So I'll send it to you. I'll find it and send it to you. And most of my audience already knows because we've talked about it. There's a prophetic word where Kim Clement is giving real fast a word from the Lord. And he says that he will put the president in for another 2 terms. I mean, 2 terms. Now, what I've learned about the prophetic word since I've been going down that road is that when the prophet says something, the first thing he says is usually correct. A lot of times, you have to decipher what God's telling you through your brain. I mean, that's just the way that it works. Donald Trump can't serve legally another 2 terms. He can only serve 2 terms, correct?
Unless we change the laws.
Unless we change the laws, which, okay, I'm just putting this out there.
It didn't used to be that way.
No, it wasn't until Roosevelt. And the Republicans put the law in because of Roosevelt. And some of the Democrats were ready for it too, by the way. But when I heard that, I said, another 2 terms? That didn't make any sense when he said it in 2007.
Oh, that's going back 20.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. But it made a whole lot more sense when Donald Trump was
He actually used the name Trump. He said Donald Trump.
Donald Trump will serve another.
I don't think anybody was saying that back
There's
then.
Another time when he said, it's later on, it's like 2014, he said Donald Trump
will
serve 2 terms. This is why a lot of people called him a false prophet, because after Donald Trump lost, they said, look, you got it wrong. You're a false prophet. By the way, the definition of a false prophet is not getting it wrong. That's not it. Because if that's the case, then Jeremiah, the whole book of Jeremiah, is a false prophecy. Did you know that?
No.
Because Jeremiah prophesied that Nebuchadnezzar would conquer Egypt, and Nebuchadnezzar died before they ever conquered Egypt. It was the Persians that conquered Egypt.
Okay, got it.
So that would make that a false prophecy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because broad prophecy is if then. Nebuchadnezzar disobeyed God, and he never got the opportunity. Just putting that out there. That's not that false prophecy isn't that you got it wrong, especially in interpretation. False prophecy is when you are speaking against what God is doing. That's false prophets. That's what a false prophet is. But I digress. The thing is another two terms, and that makes me scratch my head.
Me too.
I don't know what that means, but I'm putting that out there. So when you say I go to these people, this is where I go to get inspiration, to get I listen to what God's saying, whether it's through someone else or God to me. Like he said, you ain't seen crazy yet. And since we haven't talked about any of the things that we talked about talking about, which is kind of how it works with us most of the time.
Yeah, we have not brought up one.
Let me bring up this.
Okay.
Because I posted that, and then today, right at the end of the day, right at the end of close of business today, this happened, and this blew me away. This is Kash Patel and the acting Attorney General of the United States of America. Breaking news: indictments coming.
What we're here today is to announce what the general just told you. The Southern Poverty Law Center, in a massive sweeping indictment, has been charged with allegations of fraud and using the banking system to perpetrate that fraud. I just want to talk about a couple of brief things here. The Southern Poverty Law Center themselves advertise to raise money to dismantle violent extremist groups for a period of at least a decade. They use their donor network to raise money to purportedly dismantle violent extremist groups. However, the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, used the money they raised from their donor network to actually pay the leadership of these very groups. I just want to say that again. They used the fraudulently raised money by lying to their donor network, thousands of Americans, to go ahead and actually pay the leadership of these supposed violent extremist groups. The groups, as the general laid out, include the Ku Klux Klan, the United Klans of America, Unite to Right, National Alliance, the National Socialist Movement, the Aryan Nation Motorcycle Club, and the National Socialist Party of America, and also the American Front. In at least one of these matters, our investigation revealed that funds were used to facilitate the commission of further state and federal offenses, totaling over $3 million. Furthermore, our investigation revealed that the Southern Poverty Law Center, on top of perpetuating this widespread, decade-long, multi-million-dollar fraud, conducted more criminal activity. They attempted to hide their criminal activity from our financial banking network. They set up shell companies and entities around America so that the financial institutions that we rely on as everyday Americans were deceived in believing that money was not coming from the Southern Poverty Law Center in the perpetration of this scheme and fraud, but rather fictitious entities they stood up to perpetuate this ongoing fraud. This is a serious and egregious violation of a group that purported to dismantle violent extremist groups, but in turn actually only fueled the hatred. This is an important case brought by President Trump's administration. We're thankful to the president for his leadership and funding of not just the FBI and DOJ, but his commitment to go out there and wipe out fraud and conspiracy and waste and abuse wherever it occurs, including the Southern Poverty Law Center. Even though this money was made to appear to be coming from legitimate people and legitimate entities, we at the FBI, with our great partners at the Department of Justice and in the state of Alabama, were able to comb through a decade worth of material, a scheme that took a decade to build, so that we were able to follow the money, because money never lies, and they got caught. As the Attorney General said, these charges are varying. They are widespread and wide-ranging, and this investigation is very much ongoing. Today, we're here to announce the charges of the Southern Poverty Law Center, and this investigation and the individuals who are responsible will be brought to justice. Thank you, General.
I have met him. I got to interview him. I wish I knew more about him when I first got to interview him, because it was a sucky interview and it was ridiculous. There's so many things I should have asked him, knowing what I know now. But I will say right now that he will go down as the greatest FBI director so far in history. He's an extraordinary gentleman, and I'm glad he's there. And that was a great choice. This
So
is
let's
amazing.
just
Look at the Southern Poverty Law Center. People who don't know what that is, it's a group that basically it's like the what's that other group that's always the ACLU, American Civil Liberties
yes.
Union. They go after everybody, anybody and everybody that's supposedly keeping the man down.
Well,
They'll
the
represent you, they'll
Southern
sue.
Poverty Law Center is the ones that all of the MSNBCs and the CNNs go to when they call the National Right to Life organization an extremist group. They call the Christian Coalition an extremist group, the NRA an extremist group, and they need to and go and try to dismantle them. They go out and try to get their supporters not to support them, their advertisers not to advertise with them.
Yep.
That's the Southern Poverty Law Center is the one that brought.
They go into smear campaign mode immediately
against Rush Limbaugh.
Yes, that's right.
And it turns out that they were funding the Ku Klux Klan, the white nationalists, and a bunch of other radical groups, while at the same time accusing their opposition of being the radicals.
That's Communist Manifesto. That's rules for radicals. Accuse others of what you yourself are doing.
But and it's ironic.
The lesson there, I hope everybody gets, is all of our lives we've had teachers and people smarter than us telling us that Nazis are on the far right. And once I learned the real truth of what the Nazi Party was, it's National Socialist Party. That's what Nazi was short for. It was an acronym. They're socialists, which is communism light, just the next step to.
Well, they're fascist.
They are fascists, and there are fascists on the left as well as on the right, despite what you see in new dictionaries.
Which is what.
But look why the
Mussolini invented it.
Look why the Southern Poverty Law Center would be giving money and supporting groups on what's considered far right, because they know it's all the same. It's all about confusion. It's all about division. Bringing people down.
The Ku Klux Klans and the white supremacists and all them, they're not far right. They're socialists.
Yes.
They're Democrats. Who started the Ku Klux Klan? The Democrats.
Yes.
What was the purpose? To stop the black freed slaves from voting Republican.
Exactly.
And more importantly, did you know that the Ku Klux Klan lynched more white people than they did black people?
Yeah, I did know that. Yeah,
because they lynched the Republicans that went down to try to organize.
To try and stop them. Yeah, and trying to help.
Yep.
That's very real. Mississippi burning.
Or Free State of Jones is another one. Have you seen
that? That's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's a good one. That was that turned the tide for me with McConaughey. I was like, oh, maybe I've been misjudging this guy. I think he's a typical Hollywood loudmouth, but no,
he is.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. He seems different to me. He seems like a little smarter and a little more awake, not woke. But I just love that this is happening. And how much will the media report on it? I can't wait to hear that.
Oh, well, I'm sure they're gonna. Well, they were at the press conference. They were going after Kash Patel because he drinks too much alcohol and parties too much.
That's exactly what they're trying to do right now. Watching Dan Bongino the other day, and he goes, "That's a load of lies. It's just such a load of crap." He used not such nice language. And he worked with him for a year, obviously, as co-director.
Here's how the media is responding to finding out that one of their, by the way, this is one of their favorite sources to go to say that Republicans are radicals and all this stuff, right? Here is the media's response when they find out.
Before you hit play, how long is that?
A minute and 46 seconds.
Because I got to feed my dog Spike. Do you mind if I go?
Spike is
hungry.
Put it on the screen. You got a minute and 46 seconds. Here we go.
If I'm not back in time, I will be right back. Go ahead and go, buddy.
Absences created a national security risk. And beyond that, can you say definitively that you have not been intoxicated or absent during your tenure as FBI director?
I can say unequivocally that I never listened to the fake news mafia. And as when they get louder, it just means I'm doing my job. This FBI director has been on the job twice as many days as every director before me. What that means is I've taken half as many days off as those before me. What that means is I've taken a third less vacation than those before me. What that means is that this FBI with this Department of Justice has dropped the murder rate 20 points. What that means is this FBI with this Department of Justice has captured 8 of the top 10 most wanted fugitives in the world, twice as many as the Biden administration did in its entire 4 years. What that means is this FBI has seized enough fentanyl off the streets to kill 178 million Americans, a 31% increase. What that means is this FBI and this DOJ has arrested 43% more spies in 14 months than the entirety of the Biden administration. What that means is this FBI has seen a reduction in opiate overdose deaths up to 20% alone. What that means is that we have found 6,300 child victims, 6,300 families have their kids back. That is a 22% increase from the Biden administration. I'm on the job. I'm the first one in. I'm the last one out. I'm like an everyday American who loves his country, loves the sport of hockey, and champions my friends when they raise a gold medal and invite me in to celebrate. I've never been intoxicated on the job, and that is why we filed a $250 million defamation lawsuit. And any one of you that wants to participate, bring it on. I'll see you in court.
Oops, Charlie's not quite back yet. Oh, I don't know why it won't let me there we go. Well, the screen. There we go. Somebody teach this guy how to push buttons. But there's Kash Patel asked by the media, "Oh, are you drinking alcohol? Are you drunk? What's going on, man? What's going on?" And he says, "Hey, if you want to bring it, I'll see you in court." and that's these people. They're just so snotty. They're ridiculous. That's the facts. Anyways, so did you catch all that?
I did. I was able to hear it. Yeah. I'm telling you, he's a true American hero too. I don't throw that term around loosely. Talk about true American heroes. Nick CharLee out here in California.
I was going to ask you to bring that up.
Started in Minnesota, and took his fight of exposing fraud to California. And I don't know how that happened. I don't know who encouraged him to do it, but I want to shake their hand and say thank you for doing it, because he has busted this state wide open, so much so that the pigs on the left, who are in total control here in California, at least for now, are introducing a bill, assembly bill of 22 whatever, who cares, and they're calling it the Stop Nick CharLee Act. They're literally calling it that.
It's crazy.
It is. This is, and it gets even more insane. It's written by Assemblywoman Mia Bonta, Bonta. Who's Mia Bonta? Well, Mia Bonta ran for office when her husband, little Robbie Bonta, got appointed Attorney General. Now, it's supposed to be an elected position. How that'll happen, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, all that aside, Rob Bonta is the Attorney General of California. So his wife ran to take his office and won.
That happened here in Missouri too one time. Senator Carnahan? Somebody tell me. Who was that?
Carnita.
No.
Warm smell of carnitas.
Yes. Yeah. Senator Corahan, I think was her name. Corahan. Her husband died in office, and then she took over the seat.
Oh, that happened here too. That happened here too with Matsui.
I can't think of her name. That's
Doris
not right.
Matsui. Yeah. In the total scheme of things, doesn't matter.
Our buddy Matthew's watching. At least he was earlier. Maybe he'll remember. Mel Carnahan. Yeah, Carnahan. That was it. Somebody says it's Bill Carnahan. He died, and then his wife took over.
Carnauba wax. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So Mia Bonta is the one that has written this assembly bill. The main writer. There's several co-authors. And her husband is the frickin' Attorney General. So here's Nick CharLee, his 24-year-old kid, exposing all this corruption, and he's been doing a brilliant job of it. And he's not even all that good. He'd never get a job with a network, or probably not even a television news station because he's really not that good and accomplished. And I'm glad he's not. I'm glad
And
he's
they were
real.
over on MS Now complaining about him because he never went to college for journalism like they did.
Makes me love him all the more.
Yeah, because he's not that accomplished. He's not a journalist, and he's not like us. We're the pretty people.
He's not like
But
us.
but he does what's called journalism, like investigating things, like
Yes,
knocking
keep
on the
race.
door.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you have
Go ahead.
any Learings here? You know,
Do you have any children leering in your leering center? So he comes out to California again. I don't know who made that happen, but I want to shake their hand. Great job. He has exposed millions and even now billions in fraud.
well, Dr. Oz was out there doing it too. Yeah.
But this this assembly bill that's being pushed through all the committees right now and is going to go to a vote and will be signed into law by the worst governor this nation's ever known, Governor Hairdo, Greasy Gavin, whatever you want to call him. This is his final year. This is what Democrats do. They act like they're in the middle. They act like they're centrist. And then once they get in, they'll kind of skate through and start peppering things out. Bill Clinton did it his first term. Then when they get elected to a second term, Obama did it too, of course. Biden would have done it. That's when all hell breaks loose and they just let you know exactly who they are, because what do they care?
Yep.
They have a goal. They got in there with a goal. And it's New World Order, one world government stuff, doing the freaking devil's work just as quickly as possible for his time is short. And is that black and white. There is no gray there. These people are doing the devil's work. And it is to dismantle and destroy the nation that was created founded on biblical principles, God-blessed divine intervention that we have for the first time in the history of the world.
Yep.
A true constitutional republic that has lasted longer than any other that has tried it. We're about to celebrate our 250th birthday, and I can't even find anybody around that's excited about that. It's
Well, they're
weird to
excited.
me.
They're excited around here in this part of the country, but
That's
you know,
good.
they're
Well,
out
in
there with all the fruits,
California,
nuts, and flakes. So,
as a matter of fact, in California, the Coastal Commission, which is one of Governor Hairdo's little babies, shut down the fireworks show that's been happening in Long Beach for more than a decade. Shut it down because, well, it's bad for the ocean. They've done 10 years of studies. There's been no adverse effect on the ocean, but they're shutting it down anyway. This is what they did during the COVID thing when President Trump was running to demoralize us. The last thing you want is a whole bunch of patriots all coming together saying, we love our nation. Look at this great. We're all together in this fireworks show. We happen to be wearing masks because we
they
have
shut down,
to.
like in LA, they shut down all the fireworks, but everybody was out shooting off fireworks. Planes landing at LAX. It's just there's fireworks going off everywhere. People
Yes.
recording it. Isn't that what happened out there?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
a lot of that.
Out here in Central Missouri, it was just normal. That's what we do. So
I got it. Again, Sedalia, you're on my radar. And now North Carolina. I love you. But what was I getting to? Oh, Rob Bonta, Mia Bonta. This Stop Nick Shirley Act is going to happen. $50,000 fine, $50,000 fine, possible jail time, force you to take down your content from your private page. It is a direct assault on our First Amendment.
oh yeah, just wait. I think what's going to happen is some big backers are going to back Nick or someone like Nick, and they're going to go out and do it anyways. They're going to get the fine, and then it's going to be brought up. It's going to go through the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal all the way to the Supreme Court, and it's going to get
But
shot
remember
down.
who these people are, Mike. These people are attorneys. And Jesus himself talked very poorly about Pharisees and attorneys, Pharisees and lawyers.
They didn't use that word exactly, but
Pharisees
that's
and
what he meant.
lawyers. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Say
I think it was
Pharisees and
Benjamin Franklin said we need a revolution every 20 years and start with the attorneys.
That's what these people are. That's what Rob and Mia Bonta are. They're freaking attorneys. That's what most in the left who are holding office are attorneys. And once in a while, you get a doctor like Ami Bera. But they're all stinking attorneys. And they know all they have to do. They don't have to sway everybody's hearts and minds. All they have to do is sway enough to convince a jury. That's it.
Well, I understand that, but once they convince a jury and then
No.
the case happens, it goes higher, and there ain't nothing they could do about that.
Doesn't matter. The damage has already been done. Like this Prop 50 redistricting thing that's just happened in California.
I understand. I understand that's going to end up before the Supreme Court too. But what I'm saying is
the damage will have been done this midterm election. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, but
They drag
California's
it
a lost
through the
cause
courts.
anyways.
You have dirty judges who won't even hear it. They'll hold it as long as possible and make a ruling literally within the last 30 minutes of the time limit. That's what they do. Drag it out, and the damage is done.
It's what's happening right now.
What?
It's what's happening right now with the SAVE Act. The Senate, the Republicans in the Senate are delaying the SAVE Act so that when they finally pass it, I don't think they will pass it. I think God showed me distinctly they're not going to pass it. But if they do finally pass it, that it's too late to do anything with it. Also, there's a Supreme Court ruling that just happened. It's in the process of being announced, but the opposition to the ruling is dragging their feet on because they gotta put out their I can't remember what it's called technically, but their opposition to it. They gotta write it up, and they're dragging their feet, waiting to that it will be long enough that nothing can be done in the 2026 election. And that's, I cannot remember the proper term, and I should have looked it up. I didn't know we were going to talk about it. That's the one where in the 70s it was ruled that the southern states had to have minority representatives, so they had to gerrymander the district so that you would get minority representatives.
Gerrymander.
Yes. The Supreme Court is about to rule. The Supreme Court's about to rule against that. That means that approximately 19 Democratic seats will disappear in the House. Because these are all red states, and they'll go red when they change the districts away from focusing.
Oh, the census is going to kick the crap out of the.
Well, this isn't even census. This will be a Supreme Court. This is not even that. Right now, if you go look at Georgia, if you go look at Alabama, if you go look at Mississippi, there's little blue districts that are all like this. Those are ordered by the court, who said that it's racist if you don't have a certain amount of minorities. So they make the districts so they get a couple minorities.
The population is. It's racist.
Population. Yes.
Yeah.
And the Supreme Court's about to rule, no, you can't do that. You can't make determinations based on race. Right? But back to Nick. Well, what's going to happen? I don't know if Nick's going to do it or Dr. Oz is going to do it. That would be crazy. Or because he is the deputy health and human services guy. I'm a government official. Or somebody's going to go in. They're going to do it intentionally to get charges, to go to court, to go all the way to Supreme Court. Because here's the thing. How do you, as the Attorney General of California, argue against this? Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or the press or the right of the people to peacefully assemble, etc., etc. The press, defined by the Supreme Court in multiple rulings, is anyone reporting information. So anybody that reports information is the press. I mean, we're talking about people who put this together, who were making little pamphlets. They were the first.
I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say, though. I get all this.
For 2026, it doesn't matter, but 2020, it doesn't matter anyways in California.
No. There's more to it than that. I really, truly believe this is what attorneys do. The damage is done. They've swayed the jury, and now everybody's afraid to do anything. Why would Dominion sue Fox News for almost $500 million and unfortunately win? What did that affect?
Why would Dominion drop the lawsuit after it was appealed?
Why did that effectively? I mean, how effective was that in shutting everybody up?
You're right, especially those who were paid
That's what
to shut
this
up.
Stop Nick Shirley Act thing is all about. To
Oh, I
shut up
understand.
people like you and me.
I understand. And again, let me just show you. For a period of time, it worked until it didn't. Okay, because why did Dominion, when Fox News has appealed that ruling, but now Dominion has dropped the case? Why? They won, and it looked like they're going to win their appeal. Why'd they drop it? That case has been dropped by Dominion. Did you know
They
that?
don't want any more spotlight shown on them with the upturning.
Because a Republican voting activist bought Dominion.
Oh, well, yes. And then there's that. Thank you. Thank you. And we stole Maduro right out of his palace.
Now let me since we're talking about the California Nick Shirley thing, let me just play. So this was hearing, I believe it was yesterday. RFK Jr. is up there, and I don't know who this congresswoman or senator or whoever this is. I don't know, and I don't care. I think this is in the Senate. But listen to the question and listen to what he says.
Okay.
Madam Chair, Ranking Member. Secretary Kennedy, when you appeared before this committee in June 2025, the big ugly bill had not yet been enacted, but you claimed that your department would not be cutting Medicaid. You said, and I quote, "We're not cutting Medicaid. There are no cuts to Medicaid." Despite active plans underway to dramatically change the program and severely reduce federal funding to states, you have actually repeated that today. And I just want a yes or a no. Is it still your position that a $900 billion reduction in federal Medicaid funding to states is not a cut? Yes or no?
Is that a tranny?
Need to turn
yes
your
or no?
microphone on,
You
sir.
saying, can you just tell me yes or no?
That would only be a cut in Washington, D.C., a 47% increase in spending. How is that a cut?
I just
How is
want
it
you to
even
say
a
yes
cut?
or no. That's all.
Of course, that's because you don't want to debate anything.
It's not a cut.
Never. No.
47% increase
Okay,
is not
next
a cut.
question. Did your department
Now, let me
find,
pause that before she goes to the next question and just remind the audience that used to listen to Rush Limbaugh. I used to talk about this all the time. There'll be we do zero-based budgeting, so every year the spending goes up no matter what.
Yeah.
So if the spending on Medicare goes up 9% and the Republicans come along and cut it down to 8%, the Democrats scream and hoot and holler, "You're cutting Medicaid, you're throwing grandma off the cliff." When really it's increasing by 8%, not 9%. That's exactly what's happening here, what he's trying to explain. But wait, there's more.
Back to the tranny.
next question, did your department find $900 billion worth of fraud in Medicaid to justify?
Excuse me?
Did your department find $900 billion worth of fraud in Medicaid to justify these cuts that you're saying?
There's been no cuts.
Did you
there's no
find
cut to
900 billion
Medicaid.
in fraud?
There is no cut to
Did you
Medicaid.
find
There's a lot of
$900 billion
Medicare
in fraud?
There were millions of people on Medicaid. There were 3.7 million people who were getting Medicaid in 2 states, or they were getting Medicaid and Obamacare at the same time. And there were 1 million illegal immigrants on Medicaid. So that's fraud. We're getting rid of those people.
But you're
We're
not
not
saying
cutting
you didn't use that
Medicaid.
to justify the cuts.
Medicaid is increasing.
Next question.
No matter how you justify, no matter how
Well,
you try
let
to
me tell you.
justify.
I think I found the person. I
What's
think
his-
I found the person
It's a
as
dude,
dumb
right?
as dumb. I don't know. As dumb as Hank Johnson. I'm worried that the island might capsize.
Capsize, yeah, that's right. Dumb, as I like to say, dumb as a box of Crockett's.
Yeah, and the poor general's going, "I don't think that's going to happen."
Isn't that amazing? It's
I found
so-
this. I found the match. Maybe they're married. I don't know.
Well, wait, Mike. Who's ultimately to blame for these people being in these positions of power?
Well, we're going to find out that they weren't voted in.
You think so?
Absolutely.
I hope you're right.
Absolutely. Now, let me tell you why. Okay. The SAVE Act is not going to pass.
Save America Act. Yeah.
The Save America Act. I write it in my notes, save, because it's shorthand. The Save America Act. I know Donald Trump wants to make sure we all say that. Save America, save America, save America.
Yeah.
It's not going to pass. They're not going to pass it because they're all in on it. And Tulsi Gabbard was down at Fulton County, Georgia, when they raided the voting headquarters, right? When the FBI raided Tulsi Gabbard, director of OD&I, right? And the Democrats threw an absolute fit about it. They're still throwing a fit at it. Why was she there? Well, the reason that she was there is because there's evidence that foreign entities were manipulating elections with the help of all the cheaters and Dominion and all the rest. By the way, who owns Dominion now? That Republican guy? Owns the algorithms, the connections, all of it. Interesting. So
And knows
all
how
that's
they
going to come out. That, in fact, that's in the documentation that Tulsi Gabbard just declassified and released. What's going to happen in the very near future, I don't know when he's going to pull the trigger on it, but Donald Trump's going to sign the Insurrection Act having to do with elections, and he's going to demand through the Insurrection Act, where he doesn't have to go through Congress, that we have single-day voting, paper ballots, one day only. And that as a extraordinary measure, because here's my evidence that China and Russia and Ukraine and Turkey and Israel and whoever you want to say, whoever it was, probably everybody, because we're so stupid, interfered in our election. And this person, let's see, Jack Kemp and Rothenpinger in Georgia, and whoever the governor was of Pennsylvania, and the governor of Michigan, and now the governor of Arizona, and all these people, Colorado, out in California, and just name the people who were tied in with these foreign nationals trying to subvert the election in 2020, United States of America. Yeah. That's an insurrection. If you are working with a foreign national to defeat an election in the United States of America, that's treason. That's insurrection. Sign the Insurrection Act, and it goes through. And the next thing you know, everybody's pissed off. That's what I think is going to happen. The military is the only way. Well, in that regard, Mike says here, Mike is a very prophetic person. He says, counted by the National Guard. He has said that God showed him the National Guard counting the ballots. Now, think about this. Donald Trump has had every state develop a 500-man rapid reaction force of National Guard trained up already. They're by April 1st, so it's already happened. Every state has 500 rapid reaction forces right now in the National Guard to be deployed at a moment's notice anywhere. Federalized. In case of insurrection or civil unrest.
I pray that this is true. I hope that it's right.
Well, the things that I just said is true.
Afterwards, Mike, they will not be sworn in. They will not be put into office. They will be challenged in court. The election was rigged. Trump stole the election.
So did you hear that? Did you hear that McCormick just resigned? Congresswoman McCormick.
The guy who made the spices? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. No, the one in Florida, the black woman in Florida who has been charged and is on trial right now for stealing $5 million from the COVID relief funds. She just resigned.
Yeah.
That's 3 resignations in a week.
Yeah.
So here's what God said to me. You can believe this or not believe this. This is my version of I have inside sources, okay? God said to me, and he said to me in 2023, and I thought it would already happen by now, but God's timing is God's timing, not my timing. And that is, there won't be enough people in Congress to hold a quorum because they will leave. Well, the words that I use, that I put in there, is they will self-deport, the planet or the country, one or the other. because of what God's about to do. God says he's going to lift their skirt over their head and expose their nakedness. That's what God said to me. That is a biblical term that's in the Bible multiple times when God says, I'm going to reveal the things that you don't want people to know. Well, it's happening. Eric Swalwell, Gonzalez down in Texas. Now this McCormick chick, Eric Swalwell, his bestie from Arizona. He's being exposed because he was everywhere Eric was, and he's probably one of the next to go. There's just a leaker just came out and exposed a bunch of stuff about Adam Schiff yesterday or day before yesterday. Stuff is starting to happen. Who's doing this? God is doing this. God is going to expose the things that they don't want us to know.
It's one of my favorite verses. What is done in darkness will be exposed by the light.
Yep. God's
That
going
is
to
one of my
reveal it.
big go-tos for encouragement. Lord, I know that you're going to make
I want you to be encouraged because the prophetic word that God gave me was that there will not be enough people sitting in Congress. I don't know if it'll be before the election or after election or how this is going to happen to hold a quorum. There won't be enough people. They'll be gone for whatever reason. Like I said, many of them will self-deport the country or the planet, one or the other. Now, that's a Q prediction also, but it's also a prediction from Kim Clement, from Robin Bullock, from Amanda Grace. They've all said something along that lines at different times. They've all said something along fall in the fall, that many people will fall in the fall. Kim Clement said many people will fall in the fall and many people will rise in the fall. Hank Kuhneman, I was just watching him before we come on the show here. He says there's a great reversal coming where people that are on top will be brought to the bottom and people on the bottom will be brought to the top in different areas. Robin Bullock and Amanda Grace have said that God has told them that God has already prepared people that nobody knows, that are in obscurity, to be raised up when people are removed by God. And it's not just in the government, it's in Hollywood, it's in the influencer realm. There's a
so I
bunch
can
of
still be a movie star?
You can still be a movie star. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, who wants to be a movie star in Hollywood? But so all of that is happening prophetically while all this stuff is going on. And now, because I've been saying it for years, one of the things God showed me first on, I got started in this kind of thinking in this prophetic line when 2015, I was watching a preacher from Florida, and he said this: Trump shall be a trumpet. He says, God told me, I'm not saying I'm voting for Trump. I think at the time he was he said, I'm thinking about voting for Ted Cruz, but I was asking God, Hillary Clinton can't be president. Who do I vote for? What's going on? Can you explain this to me, God? It's a good thing to do, by the way. If you have something, ask God about it. He'll tell you. And he said, I felt distinctly God say this to me: Trump will be a trumpet, the trumpet, the evil in this government for such a time, or in the vein of Cyrus, for such a time as this. Now, there's no denying the first part of that prophecy has come true. Because has Donald Trump, since he came down that escalator, exposed evil and ridiculousness and all the garbage that goes on in our government that we never even understood, whether it's Republican or Democrat or anything else? I mean, has it not been revealed in the last 10 years? You can't deny it.
Coming
right?
out, not fully, but it's getting there.
So, but all over the
And
place.
if my own fellow conservatives can shut their mouths and actually trust and have some faith for a while, instead of saying, well, the arrests aren't happening, so I'm not even going to vote in the midterms.
Well, and that's, by the way,
don't get within striking distance of me if those words come out of your mouth.
Those are the symptoms of the psyop I was talking about earlier. Those are the symptoms of the psyop, because you've got all these social influencers right now turning on Trump, turning on MAGA, turning on the Jews and all that stuff, because they all seem to have the same thing. And that's exactly what they're saying. Why aren't they arresting? Right now, if I go to X right now, and I haven't looked, by the way, and I go to that video that I just played of Kash Patel saying that well, you haven't arrested anybody for Epstein. That's the thing. And so you've heard this. You've heard this over and over again in the last 3 weeks. I voted for Donald Trump 3 times, but I'll never vote for him again. How many of these social influencers have said that? I now have friends right here in Sedalia, Missouri. I have friends who said, I voted for Donald Trump 3 times and I'm never voting for him again. I can't believe I was deceived. To which I respond every single time from now on, can you get your own material? Because that's already been said by all the social media influencers, and you're just going, I voted for Donald Trump 3 times. You know what you are? I actually said this to one of my friends on a message, on a post on Facebook. I said, why don't you go get your blue hair and your septum rings, because you're absolutely no different than, it's a danger for my democracy. It's a danger to our democracy. It's a danger to our democracy. You're just repeating what the PSYOP is telling you to repeat. Yeah. Think for yourself. Come up with a reason why you don't like Donald Trump and stand on it if that's the way you feel. But that's the counter PSYOP I'm talking about. That's what's going on. To which I'm counter PSYOPing it with the word of God through prophetic word. He doesn't do that anymore. Okay, whatever. Your God's dead, mine's not. So here I heard that same prophetic word come a guy in Texas, and I heard the same again 3 or 4 times, same exact words from different people, and I thought, wow, that got me looking into prophecies on Trump, and I come across Mark Taylor, which is a whole nother story. But I've got a stack of his prophecies that are equal to Kim Clement prophecies, and I found him, and I found myself going, wow, this is amazing, and that's what I stand on. And now God is talking to me, talks to Mike in here, and he's telling me these things. And what he showed me way back when I first started walking in this, he showed me a table, right? Imagine a big, long table like in a rich person's home. I've never had a table that big, but big, long table, right? And there's a black tablecloth over it, and you can see that there's stuff on the table because it's like this, right? And the tablecloth goes all the way to the ground. And slowly, that tablecloth is being pulled, and the leg of government and the corruption and evil of government is slowly being pulled. And while it's pulling, and you got the leg of entertainment, Hollywood and sports over here. And we're seeing all the corruption that's over there, right? Oh, yeah. And then it's being pulled up over here, and we're seeing financial realms, all the corruption and evil in the financial realms. And it's slowly being pulled. And that 4th leg is the church. And we're starting to see that come out now. This guy, this church, that organization, all this stuff starting to come out. And God, in the vision, as all of it starts getting exposed by the legs, it suddenly rips off, and you see all the evil that's placed on that table. That's where we're at. That's why there won't be a quorum in Congress, because it's going to be revealed, and we're going to find out what everybody's doing, who's cheating who, and who's being true, and who don't even care anymore. That's what we're going to find out. You got Congresswoman Luna from Florida is now subpoenaing the slut fund up there in Congress. You heard about the slut fund, right?
Yes, that's very real.
Yes, where they're paying off all of the. Yes. Somebody says to me, Mike, I can't believe
it comes up and goes, Senator, what's his face? Grab my boobie. Oh gosh. Well, let's usher you over here. We got to fill out some paperwork. We're going to get you paid off.
Tax funded slut fund. And so people, somebody said to me, sent me a message. I can't believe you're calling all those women sluts. I said, I'm not calling the women sluts. They're the victims. I'm calling the Congress people sluts.
Yes. And but by the way, that's what it's called on the inside as well.
Yeah, I imagine it is probably.
It is.
By the few clean people there are out there.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was fun conversation.
Let me run this by you then, because maybe I've been in the media too many years. I'm always looking for worst case scenario. Okay, well, what if this happens? Okay, that's great. But what if this happens? George Soros and other filthy pigs like him, and they are pigs, they are swine. And yeah, I'll pray for them, but I pray like David. I pray that the Lord will turn them around, turn their hearts around. And if that's not his will, ruin them, bring them down. Soros isn't the only one. They're spending their fortunes on dismantling and destroying the United States of America, because as long as we, as a constitutional republic, stand strong, you're not going to usher in your new world order, your one world government.
Okay, so where's George Soros?
And the beast system, the satanic beast system.
Where's
so we've
the
got
money come
these,
from?
hang on a second. We got these people who are putting through little organizations, charitable organizations, NGOs, and so on, filtering this money down, and people are being paid off and bought to go out and create havoc and
That's all
ruination
on the table
on this nation. Nobody, as far as I know of, is stopping that, freezing their assets, freezing their bank accounts like they did up in Canada. Patriotic truckers.
That's because all of the banks, all of the governments are compromised with them, not through them, with them. Now, let me tell you this. God has called out George Soros and Yuval Noah Harari by name through prophetic word for some of the people I follow it. I mean, and it's not good, by the way. Do you know who's married to George Soros Jr.? Actually, his name's Alex Soros. Who's married to George Soros Jr.? That's what I call him. It's Alex
I know
Soros.
this. It's in my subconscious. That the name is in there, but I'm not recalling it right now.
Uma Aberdeen.
Oh, Aberdeen. Yeah, that's right.
Former personal assistant, and I do mean
Hillary Clinton.
The Hillary Clinton. Former wife to Anthony Weiner, like to show his wiener on the internet to minors.
Yep.
By the way, the Anthony Weiner laptop is back in play.
Really?
And it's not 33,000 emails that they had on there. It's 650,000 emails under a thing called insurance policy. It's back in play, and it isn't just Sidney Powell talking about it. It's deputy not deputy, Assistant Attorney General Dillon is talking about it.
Marshall.
And get ready, because that's back in play. But let me just point something out. You say, who's stopping George Soros? Well, George Soros is a puppet. He's not the one in charge. His NGOs that he controls, all the money that he spends and is not his, it's ours. And where's it laundered through? Venezuela, Iran,
Cuba,
and Ukraine. And Cuba. Yeah, Cuba's another. Yes. Who now controls Venezuela and soon to be Iran and Cuba, because they're coming to the negotiation table. You're saying no one's stopping this. Donald Trump is cornering the oil market. Donald Trump is cornering the money flow to the deep state Satanist conspiracy, whatever you want to call that group of people, whoever they are. And that's not Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, John Kerry, Joe Biden, George Soros. It's not the World Economic Forum. It's not NATO. It's not the United Nations. It's above them. Those are the front groups. All the people that you know their names, that's not the people really doing this. It's other folks. Who are they? I don't know. But those are the ones that are put out there. Those are the ones that get cut loose.
Demons is what they are.
Well, yes, it's principalities and powers, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. But here's my
Donald
point.
Trump is cutting all their resources off.
Thank God.
Starving them. And starving them.
And thank you for bringing that up, because I've been looking at it much more shallow, but even still deeper than it seems most. And that is, we're taking out China. We've
cornered China.
We're cutting off their oil supply. We're cutting off their oil supply. It's just that basic. You can't be going around attacking Taiwan and acting like you're all that and do saber rattling.
And we took the Panama Canal
in your military vehicles. We're taking out China. I think that's. I always thought, well, that's.
And another thing that we have done.
You just brought up a different point.
In the media today, there's something else happening.
That's a twofer right now. I like that.
In the media today, right now, breaking yesterday, we are checking China financially. They don't no longer have the oil to attack Taiwan. They need that Venezuela oil. They need that Iranian oil for the war machine, and they don't have enough. They can't produce enough domestically. But you know who can? The United States of America. That's right. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. something happened yesterday to check China even more, and that was Japan. Japan has changed their military posture from defense to offense, and now they're going to start selling their weapons regionally. That means they're going to sell to the Philippines, they're going to sell to Taiwan, they're going to sell to South Korea. Yes, and China is fit to be tied. They came out and said, you can't do that. Do you know why they did that? Because Donald Trump
I think
said
their prime
do it.
minister is awesome. I love
Donald
her.
Trump said do it. It is another check against China. It is America power through our ally in that hemisphere, and they don't like it. And they don't like it because Japan would kick their butt. I mean, that's all there is to it. But that's another story. So, especially with our backing.
That's beautiful. And for anybody who's thinking that Donald Trump is ushering in World War III and we were all wrong and we were all fooled, you're an idiot. He's taking away the power of all the countries that wanted to bring in World War III. No better way to depopulate the planet by millions and millions.
Well, and the communists, they want to control the world. The communist Chinese want to control the world.
And Islam.
The Iranian, but they're playing with fire with Islam. The mullahs of Iran are 12ers, which mean they believe the 12th imam will climb up out of a well when the world is bathed in infidel blood. So them launching a nuclear weapon and blowing up half the world doesn't hurt their feelings at all.
Mm-mm.
That is their Antichrist. That is the Antichrist. That is their version of the Antichrist coming up, although they'll call him their version of the Messiah.
Right. Here's what I was getting to, though, and I'll finally get to my point. All these people who are paying, as we've seen the pallets of bricks, dag nabbit. I know this word now. Suddenly I'm not thinking of it. The great big concrete things with the holes in the middle, pallets of them because they're easy to break up and then to throw. Placed there like the night before a protest and so on. Somebody's paying for all of this. Somebody's getting paid. Somebody's making money off of all of this. And when all these things happen, and I'm praying that they will, that you're saying that we won't even have a quorum for them to be able to stop President Trump and what he's doing with taking down the frickin' Fed. Oh, please let that happen.
Mike says that God has showed him the Fed's going down, the IRS is going down, NATO is going down, and the UN.
Thank you. It's about time. The John Birchers were right all along.
God hasn't showed me that particularly, but he has. That's what Mike says he showed him.
I hope that happens. But here's what I wanted to get to. Nobody has stopped that flow of money. You're saying that is happening. That's in the works. That's something I hadn't considered with Iran and all that, Venezuela and all that. I hadn't even thought of that.
USID's gone, and there's going to be another round of Doge, but we got to get rid of all the Rhino Republicans first.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
When I say that there's not going to be enough to hold a quorum, I don't mean Democrats. Kim Clement prophesied in 2014, and he said to the Republican Party, God is dissatisfied with you. That's the word he used. And basically what God said to me when I heard that was, I'm mad at the Democrats, but I'm madder at the Republicans because the Democrats are who they are. But Republicans say they're one thing when they're another. God says, hot or cold, or I'll spill you out of my mouth.
Spew you out of my mouth.
So he wants you to be hot or cold. Make a decision. Well, the Republicans are a bunch of lukewarm rhinos. And everybody loves hot coffee. Some people love ice cold coffee. Nobody likes lukewarm coffee. I'm just saying.
Room temp. Especially if it has cream in there and it's sat there for several hours. Go ahead and drink that.
I wouldn't know if I drink mine black.
The point though, and what I wanted to ask is, have you considered this? What's going to happen? Because there's a lot of very wicked people out there ready and looking for anarchy. They're wanting it. That's their religion.
It's going to happen.
and it's being paid for. What's going to happen when all these people are taken out in the government and all these things start coming down and the people rise up? And we have this civil war that everybody's fearing and
We're not
talking
going to have a
about.
civil war, and the answer to that is but God. Let me tell you, there is an economic crash coming.
Okay.
When is it going to be? I don't know, but it's to clear out that those people that you're talking about, the funders of all that, they're going to be cleaned out. This is a God thing. They're actively trying to cause a reset economic collapse under Trump's watch so they can blame it on Trump and they get everything back, and then we can go back to their agenda 2030, 2035, whatever it is.
Nothing but confusion and violence everywhere.
And one of the things that's happening, I talked about this on my show, in the last week or so, there's been like 25 or 30 infrastructure, oil infrastructure around the world has been blown up, caught on fire, or something. And so the theory is they think they're trying to cause a worldwide energy crunch. And I think that they're going to succeed in that, but not here. Does that make sense? Around the world,
We
there'll
were
be
self-sufficient before when President Trump,
and we're self-sufficient now. And
yeah.
and for the first time in my lifetime, they're bringing on 2 brand new power plants. For the first time in my lifetime, they're building new refineries to produce fuel in Texas.
except here in California.
Well,
California, we've lost.
I mean,
we have
Houston's
had
not-
3 refineries shut down. Exxon's left. Phillips.
That's why your gas is $8 a gallon and my gas is $3.60 a gallon.
Right. Oh, I know. And then there's the taxes, almost $2 worth per gallon.
Yeah. Well, go get yourself that Tesla. Oh, right. They're going to put a mileage tax on you.
That's exactly
Sucker.
right. So this is
And
how
I'll drive around in my old 86 Dodge that doesn't even, odometer don't even work. How many miles drive this year? None.
What kind of Dodge?
It's a Dodge Ram short bed.
Nice.
318.
With a 318?
Carbureted 318. Yeah. Just
beautiful.
And it's all it's sitting out there right now. I hardly ever drive it, but when I want to start it, it goes. Do it again. That's how it goes every time. Old Faithful. The Jeep might not start. The camper might not start. My daughter's car might not start. That'll start every time.
Yeah, when the EMP happens, the electronic magnetic pulse weapon, and shuts down the grid, I'm going to be driving around in my 1958 Ford Thunderbird that will still be running just beautifully.
Probably so.
It will. It will. There's so many things coming that striking fear into the hearts of all of us into a point of inaction. At least out here in California, when like I said, my own fellow conservatives are afraid to even vote, afraid to even do anything. They're afraid to move. They don't know what to do.
Let me tell you this. There's something coming in California. God has said, keep an eye on California, that he's going to do a work in California. There's something coming in California where all of this is going to be exposed and it's going to flip everything. We are in the season. Okay, for the last several years, God has told me repeatedly we were in a season of grace. God was giving grace to these people to repent and turn from their wicked ways. That's the verse that Donald Trump read today when he read, if my people are called by my name. Well, he's giving these people, I told you he called out Yuval Noah Harari by name in a prophetic word. I didn't give it, somebody else did. That prophetic word was repent. Repent, save your soul from what's coming. There is an event that's going to happen that's going to shock the world. It's going to expose everything all at once. And California is going to flip. The word is boomerang. The word is Haman. Haman is Esther. That's the rest of that prophetic word with Trump being a trumpet. It's for such a time as this. That's Esther. At the end of Esther, the bad guy ends up hanging on his own gallows. If you've read the book, have you read the book, Esther? I suggest reading it again. At the end, he's in there, and Esther tells the king that's the guy that's trying to kill me and all the Jews because I'm a Jew. And the king gets mad and he walks outside into the garden, and then And then Haman, knowing the jig is up, decides to beg for his life, but he slips and falls into the lap of Esther, who's reclining on a sofa. And just as the king walked back in, he says, not only do you want to kill her, you want to molest her right in front of me. And he says, what will I do with you? And one of the eunuchs says, hey, he's building a 100-foot gallows behind his house. And the king goes, that's a good idea. The only thing is, we learned in Sunday school, gallows, you hang. But back in those days, they didn't hang people. If you go back and you look at the word, it's an Aramaic word. It means pike. Like Vlad the Impaler. Like the last thing you taste is your butt coming through your mouth on the pole. But we clean that up for Sunday school because you just don't want to talk about that Sunday school.
One of the truest, most horrific ways to ever die.
That's the way they did it back then, though.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is there's a moment coming, a Haman moment. Other people said a boomerang moment, a flipped moment, a changing of events when all the things that they've been trying to do will be done to them. And God's going to orchestrate this. And when it's all said and done, this is what God told me. The world will say, everybody in the world will say, there's a God in Israel and a God in the United States of America. That kind of thinking hasn't been around for 200, 300, 400 years.
No.
But that's what they're going to say. There's a God in Israel and a God in the United States of America. Mark my words, it's going to happen. And we're going to go through a season of Joseph. So it'll be a time of plenty, and then there's going to be a time of famine. And then after that, God didn't say that. He just said to me, and then after that. So what does that mean? That we're going to have a season of abundance, especially here in the United States, especially in Israel. And someone in the comment section says, it seems like the whole world's going to be falling apart with what Donald Trump's doing, and the United States is going to have it all, and we're going to prosper. And that falls right in line with that prophetic word. So we're going to have a time. What do you mean by that? You mean the Sarah Jessera? No, I do not. What do I mean by that? I don't have any idea. Go read the story of when Joseph was sold into slavery into Egypt. That's what he said, a time like that. How long? I don't know. He didn't say me. Other prophetic people have said 7 years and 7 years. I'm not going to say that because God didn't say that to me, but that's what they're saying. The time in the Bible is 7 years and 7 years. 7 years plenty, 7 years of famine. I don't know how that's going to work. Okay? So here's what I'm saying to you. Be prepared. Be of good cheer. God is in control. God is sovereign. His will be done, whether you like it or not. You can join in with his will or not, but his will be done. And these events are going to happen the way God has laid them out. Exactly what those events will be, I don't know. But I'll know it when I see it. And when I see it, I'll give the glory to God. And I think the rumblings in the beginning of it are these three politicians stepping down within a week. It's never happened in the history of the United States. And there's more to come. It's going to build. That's why the prophetic word is you ain't seen crazy yet.
Yeah.
So we probably ought to get off here. We've been on here 2 hours, man.
Yeah, I figured we've been going for a while. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank you even more for sharing these shows. If you dare, share them on your social media and so on after they're posted. For me, it's rumble.com/do-not-talk. That's where I'm live right now. Thank you to everybody on there. Rumble.com/do-not-talk. And Facebook deleted all of it. I did a little show about what a scam and sham Pride Month is last June. And it apparently offended somebody in the homo mafia in the Bay Area of San Francisco.
Goodness. Did you see that? Did you see the Pride
every
Month
single one of
stuff?
my pages. So I have no way. I had 40,000 people on there. I have no way to let anybody know when I do new shows now, at least on Facebook with Meta. And of course, they pulled Instagram as well. They've responded to none of my correspondence asking why, how can we fix this? What's going on? Nothing. My whole life was on there because I've been with Facebook from the beginning. So I lost a lot of photos and videos and kind of chronicling because I put all my eggs in that basket, and it wasn't smart. I wish I wouldn't have, but I did. So now you'll always find me on Rumble. Thank God Rumble is not shut down or taken off any of my shows. YouTube, on the other hand, which is owned by Google, I've got 2 strikes there. This show right here might be strike number 3. And they'll do the same. They'll just delete the entire platform and all my history. And I've been with them from the beginning too. So if you share these shows, you'll be helping. And I also have a
Especially
website
from Rumble.
Especially from Rumble. Yes, please.
Because they're right now, it's the freest place you can talk other than X.
He's right. At least that size. There's others. I mean, you got Telegram and so on and so forth. That's a good free speech platforms, but they just don't have the reach so far that Rumble has been able to attain. But even still, we're not getting behind it. I'm amazed at how many of my fellow conservatives, when they'll ask, where do I find your show? And I'll tell them and they'll go, what's Rumble?
Oh yeah, I get it all the time.
Are you serious?
Well, that's because they don't even watch YouTube. They start watching CNN and reading the New York Times. So you think I'm kidding? So you mentioned Pride. You did a Pride thing. Did you see this? I'm going to add that. I know we're going to wrap up the show, but did you see this? It says Pride rises at the lowest place on earth. This is June, and the Dead Sea becomes Pride Land. The biggest LBGTQRS TV WXYZ plus minus multiplication long division exclamation point question mark festival ever in the Middle East. I want to make sure I get everybody included. I want to be inclusive. 4 days of 4 days of nonstop celebration, community and connection. Largest Israel celebrates LGBTQ community bigger than ever. So they're having a LGBT festival on the Dead Sea. Do you see anything wrong with that? I mean, other than the LGBT.
Yeah,
Sodom and Gomorrah were on the Dead Sea. They think, pretty sure, right at the northern part of the Dead Sea. And here they are at the Dead Sea, having a festival.
That's something.
I mean, the term sodomy comes from Sodom. I'm just saying. Don't go to the festival. I don't know. Probably nothing will happen. But fire and brimstone has happened there. I'm just thinking it's a poor choice. There's other places you could go. This seems like a poor choice to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Israel has become a bastion for the homosexual community, and more gay porn, I think, is made there than coming out anywhere else now these days. This is it's sad, it's sick, it's wrong.
So I said, as a bunch, let me get that off the screen. I'm sorry. A bunch of Jew hating mega types were out throwing a temper fit the other day about that festival. Look at the Jews. They're evil. They're disgusting. Well, I said, before you move the speck out of your neighbor's eye, you probably should move the plank out of your eye. And I brought them this. I just asked Gronk. Early 2026, Fort Lauderdale, Tucson, Miami Beach. Let's see. Long Beach, Springfield, Lexington, Philadelphia, Outer Banks, Key West, Columbia, Milwaukee. You get the point. Those are all of our Pride festivals here. So maybe
Oklahoma City is on that list.
Oklahoma City, everywhere's on that list. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. And that's just a little bit of the list. They're doing Pride festivals all over the United States in June, July, August, September. So maybe before we go to Israel, I'm not questioning Israel's pride stuff, whatever. That's your religion, and it is a religion. That's fine. Just stay away from me. I don't want no part of it. And I darn sure don't think it's a very good idea to go to the remnants of Sodom and Gomorrah and have your little pride festival. I just think that's
I long for God's will to be done on earth as it is in heaven, and it's going to happen. And that is the focal point of the Bible, isn't it? Israel, Jerusalem. Things are
Israel is God's chosen people, not to choose them to be the most saved. not to choose them to be the bestest, not to choose them to be better than anyone else, but 220 times in the Old Testament it says something along the lines of this, that thou will know that I am the Lord thy God. God chose Israel to bring God to the world, and that wasn't always a good thing. And Israel still has a part to play, whether you like it or not, as a nation, because in order for revelation, and all these Jew haters are screaming about the rapture and the end times, but in order for that to happen, it has to be in Israel. Because if you read Revelation, what does it talk about? What's the center focus of Revelation? Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be in Israel. It's going to happen. Again, God's will be done. You don't have to like it. Pharaoh didn't like God's will being done, but it got done anyways. Moses went along with God's will. He got blessed. Pharaoh got cursed.
Mm-hmm.
But God's will was done, whether you like it or not. So join in. Join in what God's doing. There's blessings. Or not. Then be cursed. Drown in the Red Sea or whatever.
Read the word. If I can encourage you to do anything, read God's word. You can't be fooled. Pray for discernment. Jesus told us to ask for discernment, and so I do. So we know what's of the Lord and what's of the enemy. We cannot be fooled if we're reading his word for ourselves. A chapter a day keeps false teachers away. Start with the book of John. That's the fourth and the last of the four gospels. And it encapsulates the life of Jesus extremely well. And then keep going. Acts, Romans, Hebrews, all of those, Corinthians. Read God's word. A chapter a day keeps false teachers away. Don't be fooled anymore. Don't let some slick-haired, skinny jean wearing goofball tell you what the Bible says 22 minutes a week. Read it for yourself, and you cannot be fooled. That's the best encouragement I can ever give to you, and I pray that you'll start doing that tonight. It doesn't take you long to read a chapter of the Bible.
When I started reading the Bible, I started in the beginning, where it says in the beginning, and then I read it to the end, and then I started over again. That was 1998. I don't know how many times I've done that. So, I just thought, well, where do you start? In the beginning. Okay, that's where we'll start then.
Well, I encourage people to
I understand exactly what you're doing. It
start
doesn't
in the
matter.
New Testament, because that's where our salvation is. In Christ
I understand,
Jesus.
and it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me.
You can always go
And
back
then
and read the Old Testament later, but get through the New
Absolutely.
Testament first.
And which version of the Bible do you read? I read the Holy Spirit version. That is, I pray that God guides me through his Holy Spirit to understanding of what I'm reading. Whether it's King James, New King James, NIV, Amplified, Message, it doesn't matter. You see, because God can interpret it how he wants it. But if you ask the author of the book and you ask him, what did you mean by this? There you go. So
But thank you for being here with us, and Lord willing, we'll do it again next week. What time is the decided time that we're going to do, Mike?
8 o'clock ish. I put 8:15 on there because stuff happens, technical difficulties and stuff, and we'll get it figured out a format. We'll
That's
have
Central
something.
Time, so
yeah,
6
Central
o'clock ish Pacific.
The only time there is, or something. I don't know. Just because you all are out there on the left coast with all the fruits, nuts, and flakes, what am I supposed to do about it?
Yeah.
Well, and my shows, Patriot Mike Show, right here on this Bat channel, or if you're on one of the other channels, just go search Patriot Mike Show on Rumble, Facebook, wherever, X, and 8:30 every morning, Central Standard Time, and we rant and talk about whatever, and have a good time.
Yep. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So with that, CharLee and I are going to sign off. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know. Well, go check out CharLee. He's got tons of interviews coming. It should be great. And
you're going to love the show I have tomorrow, by the way. It will post at 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, where I actually have a reporter, a young reporter, just early mid-20s dude who showed up at the California Republican Party convention just a week and a half ago and got kicked out.
Wow.
Got kicked out because he asked the wrong kind of questions.
Well, you can't be asking
very eye-opening tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific.
You can't be asking those Republicans if they've got invites like Madison Cawthorn did. Anyways, moving on.
Mhm. Oh, by the way, they denied my press credentials for the first time.
Really?
Yeah. I've been
Well, you
pretty
know.
critical, though, of my own party lately, in
Well,
California at least.
anybody who watches my show knows I have been.
Yeah.
Anyways, by the way, I love Thomas Massey. uh, watch my show. You'll see how untrue that really is. Anyways, moving on. We're going to get out of here. Talk to y'all later. Next week, same bat time, I think. Or tomorrow, you can watch my show. Or you can watch his shows. It'll be great. Talk to you later. Patriot Mike and CharLee is out.